Jurassic Park. Now playing at theater next.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Popper, neutron blaster, and water zapper, each sold separately.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast for the week of... God damn it.
It's January 29th today. I don't want to date our episode.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
But we're not even giving numbers to them
the
anymore.
week went by fast. The year's going by fast. It's been a heck of a week. I'm going to get into it. Hello, everybody. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for joining here at Yes Have Some podcast. I am here with Abigail Gardner.
What's up, guys?
And Jacob Walsh.
Yep.
And we have a toy video. It is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week. I want everybody to head to the official YouTube channel of Yes Have Some Podcast. It's really easy. All you got to do is go to YouTube, type in Yes Have Some, and find Jake's Toy Room Tour. Feedback's been good. People seem to be liking it. I got jealous of Jake's toy collection, specifically the Beetlejuice stuff and the Kenner Proton Pack, while I was editing the video, which is weird because I filmed it. I was there.
Yeah, I got jealous while watching it. I was like, why don't we have all that?
Yeah.
Every time I see the Beetlejuice stuff, I'm like, it makes no sense that we haven't collected it yet. Very cool, Jake. Sorry for knocking your toys over for the second time now.
It's fine.
I'd like to apologize formally.
But it's not too bad. You're doing better than one.
Oh, I just started the video. I was like, Jake, how are you
Oh, wait,
talking?
I was
I
like,
was
the audio
so-
just got crazy.
I
I was
was
like, Jake,
so
how are you in our
confused.
toy room? Sorry, I was opening the video because I wanted to look at the comments to see if there's anything new.
Cool. Jake?
Yeah, I was before we started recording here tonight, I was on Instagram, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Ghostbuster is like doing a sale right now.
Yeah.
And he posted up the slime blower, the
Ecto
Kenner-
Charger, the pack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
let
the
me see.
box, and I was like, wait, I have, the pack with the box. I don't have the Ecto Charger. I was like, am I about to buy this? I passed on it, but I'm feeling regret from that decision to not buy it.
Did he sell it already?
I don't know. I haven't went back and checked. I don't want to look, because if I look and it's not sold, I might just buy it.
I feel like the price is really cheap. $70?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 80.
No, it's only 70. The box is in good condition, especially on the back. It's got like a little damage on the side.
The sticker on the actual Ecto Charger is pretty jacked up. But that's a good deal. Well, let's think about it.
shipping.
Let's think about it.
You
Let's think
could
about
reprint that sticker. Is that frowned upon in the community to
No.
reprint?
Funny you should ask
Because
that.
I know that's an issue with like
It's like,
very small guns for
Wayne's
Star Wars
World.
games. Yeah.
Actually, people have been visiting Milwaukee for centuries, Wayne. It's that's all personal preference, right? Where it's frowned upon is if you have a reproduction sticker or weapon and then you are selling that and you don't make that information known, that's the bad thing.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
If you try to kind of pass it off as real. But if you just want to do it for your own collection, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, that's my opinion. There's different, like for instance, with Star Wars in the vintage collecting community, there is very intense opinions on both sides about whether or not reproduction weapons are okay. And I kind of lean towards what I just said, which is as long as you're not trying to fool anybody, it's fine.
Such a dumb thing. That whole statement you just made is so dumb.
Well, thank
The fact
you.
that people, not your stance on
Thanks
it.
for the feedback, Jake.
The fact that people argue over it.
Right.
The fact that people are like, you can't use a fucking repro. Like, get the fuck
It's
outta
your
here.
personal. It's like people who would make an argument that you can't get certain parts of your body tattooed before other parts because there's like a way to do it. Like it's all personal preference and what makes you happy, what you want in your collection. And if you want a nice fresh minty sticker, then print it out yourself. I would, if I were to buy that from Teenage Mutant Ninja Ghostbuster, I would want to get a new sticker and put it on that.
Hey, I wanted to shout out.
I dare you guys to buy it right now.
Dude, that would feel. It's only 70. Should we check our money real quick? Are we
Check
good?
our money. Here, real quick, everybody.
Let me check my account.
I did want to go ahead. We posted this on our Instagram, but I wanted to give a shout out to Instagram account Hastel Toys and Collectibles. That's HASTTEL Toys and Collectibles. They did something really cool. So what they did was a private signing with William Bryan, who we all know played the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and designed the suit for Ghostbusters. And what they did is they did custom trading cards that look exactly like the Cryptozoic Ghostbusters autograph cards from a couple years ago, but there was no William Bryan autograph card in that set. So they're kind of creating their own extension to the set. And they're only doing 35 of them. I think it's like $40. And I love stuff like that. I think that's really cool. And I told him I'd give him a little shout-ski on the podcast. And
very cool.
Yeah.
And I think, and by the way, William Bryan's just great.
Yeah.
Like, we've met him a couple times. He's a good dude.
All around super nice dude.
So yeah. And another shout out to Matt Sanders, listener of Yes Have Some, member of Yes Have Some group therapy.
Part of our new Lunch with the Listener program.
Yeah, Abby, want to tell us about that?
Sure, if you'd like to have lunch with YHS, basically, Matt's a super nice guy.
If you, it ain't gonna happen.
It's a very small program for just. I don't know how many we can have lunch with.
It's the highest Patreon tier possible.
$6.
No, Matt's a good
that
guy.
That pays for our lunch.
No. Matt was in town from Florida doing some business, and he runs, along with Tom Henry, the Containment Unit, which is the Ghostbusters autograph collecting group
on Facebook.
On Facebook. So make sure you check out those guys. Really solid guy.
Star Wars collector, big Star Wars collector.
He brought me a bunch of Star Wars 8x10s from just random aliens and characters, all signed.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Droopy McCool.
That
was so tight.
I love that. What's Deep Roy is that actor's name? You might know him as all of the Oompa Loompas from the. I always call it the new Willy Wonka, but I have a feeling that new Willy Wonka is about 18 years old at this point.
It's not so new anymore.
But really good to catch up with Matt, and man, lots of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to Yes Have Some podcast. Jake, by the way, man. Yeah. How are you? I wanted to talk about this. I know we haven't done some stress in a while, but I've got some real life stress, but I don't want to, I want to hog the mic time. Well, you know it, but no, you know about the stress.
Oh, I'll know. Okay.
Yeah. But it's, we haven't talked about it publicly, but I wanted to talk
I'm
about
trying to think through my jokes. I don't know if they're appropriate, but
none of your jokes are appropriate.
None of them are. So I'm going to say no. I'll just wait for you to talk about it then.
Jake, what do you got going on, man?
I mean, not too much. Are you asking me if I have stress?
I don't know. I just want to get to know you a little better.
We're doing stress. That was in our lineup. Stress if you have one.
I said stress if you got it.
In all capitals.
I have a small stress. It's something we don't have to talk about for a long time, but it's surrounding the two of you.
Okay.
I have a feeling it has to do with my stress.
Is it the fact that we haven't watched Gerald's game? Is this the episode we're talking about?
But it is.
No, but yes. No.
No, but it is the fact that you haven't watched Midsummer yet.
Oh, dude, I know. That's a
because
partially because of what Craig stresses that we haven't, because we've been like, we can't watch scary things that might be upsetting.
What?
I feel like we have had that.
I said that?
No, but we've been
that's how I get out of hold on. Let's give Jake the stage.
Go ahead and ream us.
There you go.
I feel like I've watched Midsummer a couple times now that it's been out, and I watched it very recently. This past week, I gave it another watch through, and I think it's probably the best movie of 2019. I think it probably is.
Really?
And yeah, I think it is, and it's really great. And the thing what stresses me out about it is that I think Abby, you will really like it.
Yeah.
I think it without I'm not gonna obviously I'm not giving anything away, but
yeah,
it is fucked up. And you guys saw Hereditary, so you know what kind of movies that guy makes. But also, there are people, me included, that I feel good coming out. Like, I watch Midsummer and I feel good after.
You feel good about your life afterwards?
I think it has
hopeful,
a cathartic ending.
Okay.
Without
satisfying.
People who are listening know exactly what I'm talking about. But like, I love it. And I've been like doing, I did like all these deep dives when it came out and I saw it in the theater for the first time. But as I've been like rewatching it, I've been discovering more things about it, and I keep researching stuff about it, and like,
well, I just keep
thinking about it a lot.
I'll tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this right now.
Bonus episode next week, Midsummer.
No.
God.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I was just gonna get up and go watch it.
Oh,
but we have
here's what we're gonna do.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave
Take
you
a 3-hour break.
We're gonna
go
bring-
watch Midsommar.
I want to see what
TV
happens when I walk away. I'm gonna make Wayne's World references all night, but I just imagine there's a Wayne leaving the set, leaving Garth to his.
What's your issue, Craig? What are you talking about?
No. What I was gonna say was I do want to see Midsommar a lot, and I don't know why I haven't watched it, but let's commit to watching it before next week's episode, and then.
And we'll talk about it.
That'll give all of our listeners who haven't seen it enough time to also see it, and then we'll have a nice discussion about it next week on the podcast.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Sounds
A
good.
nice, timely discussion.
Hey, real quick, before I get to my stress, I did want to throw this out. We've had a lot of people lately listening to the show, watching the show now on YouTube, which, we've been doing these video casts. People seem to really enjoy them. New challenge. If you're listening to Yes Have Some, or you are watching us on YouTube or consuming us in any way, tag us on Instagram in your stories or your regular posts, but either one, at YHS Podcast. Tag us, let us know when you're listening, what you're feeling, what you're stressing. Take that picture, tag at YHS Podcast, and then next week, we'll pick a winner.
Yeah.
You'll win some YHS merch, some shirts and stuff, and maybe a tote bag.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know.
noticed people were already doing
People
it.
are already
we
doing
liked
this.
it, so we want you to keep doing
Keep
it.
doing
and
it.
then you'll win something.
I want a tote bag.
Jake will get a tote bag.
Well, you need to listen to YHS Podcast.
Now,
Hey, I don't like
And
how
post about it.
you said the phrase "consume us." That doesn't sound.
well, somebody on
that scared me.
Yeah.
A little
somebody
bit. I
on
don't
group
like
therapy said he felt so. I think it was the toy video. Maybe it was a YouTube comment or something. At first, I was offended because it said I fell asleep watching this, and I was like, "Wow, thanks, man." But what he was saying was he was just watching our video and ended up falling asleep. Like he was watching it late at
For
night
comfort.
Yeah, and that we incepted him. We went into his dreams, and he had
Oh.
YHS Inception.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's like when I watch Lost or Lord of the Rings with the intention of having that pop into my dreams.
Yes.
Like dreaming about the Shire.
I wonder
That's
what
cool.
a Yes Have Some Inception would actually be like. Like, what would be I want to work on that. We don't have to spitball it right now, but I think it would be pretty good. Like, you're in a toy store. And then,
Abby enters and knocks everything over in the toy store.
Yes.
And
then you wake up.
have to leave.
Wow, great. Did Christopher Nolan direct that?
It's a good story.
But yeah, so tag us on Instagram at YHS Podcast and let us know when you're listening or watching the show, and we'll pick a winner next week, and we'll start doing that because it's fun to have fun. Now, on to my stress.
Yes, have fun.
This week, over the last weekend, this is real life. None of this is fake life. Our neighborhood turned into a little bit of a war zone. And Abigail and myself both, I started telling people at work that I was a survivor of a mass shooting.
Dude,
But that's not 100% true.
the detective that came by did say it looked like a war zone.
It did look like a
Because of
war
all the
zone.
shell
Dude,
casing.
we're just really like,
Just teasing.
Just teasing.
Doing a tease of what happened.
and for the whole story, we're going to send you to patreon.com
For $5.
No.
I can't believe cuts to the end. I can't believe Linda Blair did that.
What a bitch. No. We unfortunately one of our neighbors, their house got shot up. Not even the house directly across the street from us. Literally where my back is facing right now, about 15 yards that way. Their house was decimated with bullets for two days in a row. And the first time woke us up at 4:30 in the morning. Abby swore it was raccoons.
I was in and out of slumber, much like that listener.
Yeah.
I was like, in my mind, I was imagining the raccoons from Great Outdoors just like opening and closing the lid.
Oh, did you hear that music? It's
Yeah, I was like, oh, that has to be. And my mind was rationalizing, and I was like, there's no way. First, we were like, fireworks. 4 a.m. fireworks. And
So
then
some 4 a.m. January fireworks.
raccoons.
And then the second night, it was 11:30 at night. We were sitting down to watch Saturday Night Live. And
Adam Driver was on.
Adam Driver was on. And much like the First Order invading Jakku at the beginning of... that wasn't Jakku. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, there was another drive-by shooting. This one was much scarier. We were much closer. We both hit the deck. I kind of covered Abby instinctually.
Say it. You were a hero.
I'm a hero.
You heroically
I
pushed me to the floor.
heroically
Like Star-Lord.
I confessed something
so heroic.
I confessed something to Abby today. After we went to sleep, completely shaken up that night after talking to the cops and everything, I did come to the toy room to check to make sure everything was okay.
Of course you did.
Everything was fine.
Which was fine, which says something. So like 40 rounds of a semi-automatic weapon across the street, no damage to the toy room. Abby walks in, figures are everywhere.
Dude. Worse than bullets.
Listen, we're making a little bit of light of a situation that was actually very scary and very hectic, but I'm happy to report to all of our listeners, we are fine. We are alive. At least
everybody's safe.
For now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. No, actually the family moved, which was really interesting. The landlord was like, hey, unfortunately, you can't live here anymore.
It's in your lease if you have more than one shootout a month, you have to be evicted. And you hit 2, so get the fuck out of here.
Hit the limit.
It was crazy and I felt bad.
Yeah, all the cats are fine. We're fine. Nobody was.
Oh, I should say that. I keep forgetting to tell people that nobody was hurt or injured or killed.
Yeah, that makes it.
And everybody I tell assumes the worst.
Yeah.
So everybody's fine.
Everybody's fine.
But it was great.
Yeah, lost a little sleep, but we're better now.
It was not great. Don't say that.
It was not great.
It wasn't great.
It was honestly the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced.
It made like the stress that we have on our podcast seem a lot smaller, like those stresses. So.
I wish I could agree with that, but I've been trying to find this Kenner Winston proton pack because the handle on mine broke.
It's tough.
It's been really tough on me. So anyways, we're fine. Thank you for your concern. I know you have it. I can feel it coming through the airwaves. But that's my stress. It felt good to talk about that.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't even told my parents, so if they're listening.
I haven't either, so this is the only way that they'll find out because I'm not planning on it. So enjoy YouTube. Good stress, Craig.
Thank you.
We're both on the other side of that, so that's good.
Yep.
I'm sure if anyone's been through something like that, you can all relate. That makes my stress seem much smaller, which I already covered like last week on our last episode. I brought up Moana. I've just gotten into it even more. I was on the Disney website today looking at, there's like a cute little Hey water bottle that I want to get. And there's a playset with Moana with like, the island, like it's an island playset that opens up and there's the waves and all sorts of stuff. Like I'm into it, and I wish there was more prints when it comes down to it, because the artwork that's out there for it is like on it's like watercolor or canvas. It's like the Disney. Yeah, like when we go down to the Disney area, the walk in Orlando, like there's a store where there's a lot of artwork in there. It's like that kind of stuff.
Disney Springs.
Yeah, it's not like print collecting, the kind of prints that I want. So it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I also figured out why I didn't see that movie in 2016. It's because it came out in 2016 because I was so obsessed with Answer the Call, and that was pretty much the only thing that I was talking about or thinking about that summer. So I completely missed out on this movie. So it's kind of stressful to get into something so much later than when it was fresh, but I am still obsessed, and I think I want to get a tattoo of the island of Tahiti. I'm really thinking about that. So yeah, that's kind of where my stress is coming from. The only other thing that's stressful in my life right now is we watched Troop Zero last night on Amazon, and I really liked it. And McKenna Grace's performance was really moving, and I just am kind of stressed thinking about Afterlife at this point because I'm probably not going to be okay after that movie or during it emotionally because
she's great.
Yeah,
McKenna Grace is
she's
great.
really good on screen, and it's exciting.
Speaking of Answer the Call, I didn't put this in the rundown because I had emailed you guys before I knew about this, but I wanted to bring it up real quick before we get going. Did you guys know that Leslie Jones was on Howard Stern today and they talked about Ghostbusters?
You mentioned it. I haven't watched it yet, no.
So, for one thing...
I did because we all share the password to the same account.
Yes, somebody messaged us this. Jake's breaking the fourth wall. That's a very Godzilla move to break those walls.
Dude, fuck it.
But by the way, I'm getting
break the walls down.
I'm getting itchy. I want to watch some Godzilla.
Yeah.
Do it. Fuck. Do it. I'm coming.
Will you please come up?
Coming up. We're
come up to watch
Godzilla.
Super Bowl commercials and Godzilla.
Okay, listen.
Vegan chicken wings.
This is what I'm going to say to you guys.
Yeah.
For one thing, I love Howard Stern. I've loved Howard Stern my entire life. I modeled my entire broadcasting career after Howard Stern. Can't you see? He's got one of these things.
He calls me pig vomit all the time, guys. Off air, Craig calls me pig vomit.
Dude.
Howard, you're the motherfucker! fucking Antichrist.
We have like dick measuring contests all the time.
We do. We
Live.
do. That's great.
Mud wrestling.
Is that what you think he does?
That
Anyways,
was what he did in the 90s.
It's funny to hear Howard Stern say the word Ghostbusters so many times. It was just funny. Anyways,
Yeah.
TLDR, it was very short. Leslie Jones talked a little bit about Ghostbusters, about how her she kind of referenced the sexism and all that stuff that we all know about. The most interesting thing she said, that's kind of a talking point that maybe we can discuss a little bit, is she said that the movie that they ended up with was not representative of
It's okay. I was like, what?
was not representative of the script, and that the script was actually a lot better, and that she said specifically studio interference got in the way and did not let Paul do what he wanted to do.
Sure.
Yeah, that could
Isn't that the excuse every actor and filmmaker uses when their movies suck?
Paul Feig cut.
I don't care about anything Leslie Jones says.
All right. You heard it here, folks, from the Pig Vomit Studios. We should
From the studio that brought you We Love You, Leslie Jones. We don't care anymore. No, we do. It's fine.
We care. Listen, I'll always say it. The shit that she went through was
Yeah, that
really
shit's
unfair.
uncalled for.
The reaction to that movie prior to coming out
No
was
one
awful,
deserves to be
and,
attacked like that on the internet.
But that has nothing to do with that. Is a separate issue from the movie not being good.
not being well written.
And listen, I don't want to keep
And
talking
also,
about this.
and also, like Leslie Jones has been like when she came out and posted that tweet as soon as she found out about Afterlife. And like, I know part of that was probably like a knee-jerk reaction. And maybe if she had a cooler head, she wouldn't have posted that. But she did, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah, that was one thing that made me annoyed on that Howard Stern interview. Is he said, well, they're doing a new Ghostbusters with all men. And he doesn't know. And nobody corrected him. It's like one of those things like, well, I wish Baba,
Robin had known that McKenna Grace and
why didn't Baba Booey come in there and let everybody know that, well, actually Jason Reitman's directing
Carrie Coon.
Yeah, anyways.
Female.
So worth checking out. And hey, I thought this was kind of cool. I wanted to give a shout out. Some of you might know my cousin Taylor Williamson is a stand-up comedian, and he got a shout out today on Mark Maron's podcast, which I thought was pretty cool. Mark Maron.
Shout out to Mark Maron for the shout out.
Shout out to
Taylor.
the shout out.
This is shout out for shout out. It's a new segment.
He shouted out one of Taylor's jokes that he saw live. Taylor has a joke where he says that he's made more money in stand-up comedy in the last year than Bill Cosby, and which is funny. And Mark Maron liked it, and he was talking to Terry Crews, and he shouted it out. So this is a podcast shouting out a shout out to somebody, and none of it matters. So there you go. Cool. Let's get into some stuff. Unless you guys have anything else to say about the whole Howard Stern Robin not understanding that Afterlife is the only thing on Howard Stern, like Robin's behind glass, and the only thing that was funny was when Leslie Jones walked in. She goes, "Robin, why do they keep you behind a cage?" It was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Actually, I will give credit where credit's due. The interview was actually pretty great, and I thought Leslie Jones was actually very articulate, and it was good. I don't know, weird cool stuff. Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's talk about this news that broke last Thursday. Bill Murray in Vanity Fair.
Yeah, the day after we recorded, the article came out.
Yes, it did. Mm-hmm. And this was something that had been planned for a while. This was an interview on set of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and there's a lot of good little stuff. There's a lot of good little
little stuff.
There's a lot of good little stuff in there. I mean, I'm for real, dude.
like little stuff.
Little, but like
good.
Real good.
Anthony Bresnikan, who used to work for Entertainment Weekly, who now is the Vanity Fair I don't know, he's like a beat writer, writes all these great articles. I think he was the moderator at FanFest for the Ivan panel and all that. He did this interview with Bill Murray on set of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I definitely think everybody should go read the whole article, but we kind of wanted to highlight some of the bullet points. Obviously, the first being that it is 100% confirmed in this article not very surprising news to most people that are listening to a Ghostbusters themed podcast or Yes Have Some or whatever. Bill Murray is back as Peter Venkman, and excuse me, Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, Andy Potts, and Sigourney Weaver are all going to be back. This article specifically mentioned that they all took turns over a week filming scenes. Obviously, this was all done in sound stages in very rural areas outside of Calgary, and none of this stuff was. They weren't going to risk any pictures being taken by paparazzi or other Ghostbusters franchises to leak out to the,
Giving patches doesn't make up for it.
Oh my God! Anyways, you guys are funny. I love you guys.
I love you.
Okay.
I love you. I love
so anyways,
Ghostbusters. I love the community.
What was interesting, if you look in the pictures, you can see that they're filming inside of it looks like they brought the exterior of that farmhouse into a soundstage, and there's a big blue screen. So, and Bill Murray was there and doing scenes, and there's a whole exchange between him and Anthony Breznican about trying on the heavy proton pack and he made him wear it while Bill filmed his scenes. And like, it's kind of that weird thing, like, when Bill Murray tells you to do something, you just do it. Like, no one's going to not do it.
But I like the part in the article where Jason Reitman like jumped in and wanted to time it on his phone and like be a part of it.
Yeah.
It seems like a very fun atmosphere on set.
It did seem like a fun atmosphere.
Like, it makes me feel good about the movie.
And yeah, the main quotes, Bill Murray talked about how much he loved the script and how it's kind of deep and it's kind of hits a lot of emotional touch points. And he specifically references, he says, we're a man down. That's the story they're telling. Further confirming that when Dan Aykroyd in that one interview like 4 or 5 months ago, when he goes, oh, we have a nice tribute to Harold, however small. It's like, this whole movie is about...
Yeah,
hey, you know what? That was Dan Aykroyd giving the best misdirection. Like the one time, you know how like Dan Aykroyd's known for just talking shit and saying whatever he wants? That's the one time he said the perfect thing. That's the one time he gave the best misdirection possible.
Yeah.
It's true. It does, it says a couple things. The original actors are not the main stars, but all have meaningful roles.
Yeah.
A lot of people have tried to speculate on what that means. I don't know what that means. It can mean a million things.
I think probably one of them is going to be a cab driver.
Oh my God.
I'm really hoping Andy Potts is just like working behind a desk somewhere.
You guys are salty tonight. I can feel it. I can feel it.
There's some vinegar and some salt, but I just wanted to point out that quote, well, we are a man down, that's the deal, that line is like right before the black and white picture of them all like putting their hands in together, and Harold Ramis is at like the top of that. It's a very emotional, it's a gut punch when you read that and then you look at that picture, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. And I imagine...
It's also...
Probably gonna cry.
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I think there's people who have this fear that it's going to be an hour and 30 minutes of this family, and then the original Ghostbusters are going to come back in the last 10 minutes to help them, and it's not going to be that. Like, I think we're going to see those characters throughout the movie. Maybe. Here, like a scene here, a scene there, and obviously they're going to come together at some point. We're going to see I don't know. I got to quit saying obviously.
Calm down. Chill out.
Well, if they're showing in the trailer McKenna Grace going through the flight suits and you see Spangler pop up, if that's in the trailer, then in my opinion, you wouldn't see the flight suits if you weren't going to see some of them interacting and coming back. I feel,
but it's just cool. It's very cool. Kind of an understated way to announce that these guys are going to be in the movie. And it does kind of remind me of the Force Awakens thing where it was like, yeah, everybody's back.
Yeah.
The first trailer showed the new characters. And I think everybody's expecting that second trailer to have that gut punch.
That we're home moment.
The we're home. That's literally what people are
also, let me tell you something, and this is not to be like a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's not going to I don't think there's not going to be a moment in this movie with all of the original, the three original guys together. That's not possible. But talking about saying that this is like the Force Awakens, the Star Wars trilogy brought everybody back too, and never put them in the same three movies. Never put them in the same scene. So you can't say it's guaranteed, but also they're not going to.
Yeah, whatever. I just don't think.
We should temper
think-
our
Me
expectations.
either. I just wanted to put that. I just wanted to talk shit about Star Wars.
Listen, and anything's possible. And listen, if this movie could be great without that, like this movie could be incredible without, with very limited involvement.
If this movie doesn't end with Bill Murray just throwing a proton pack over his shoulder, just fucking throwing it, the whole pack.
What if this
he
movie
throws the wand and it just like fucking breaks off the pack?
What if this movie ends with Winston going, I don't love this town. I'm leaving this fucking town. This dumb. Where are we? I'm used to being in New York.
I don't love this town.
Oh, that's what I said. You want to keep doing it?
It's sunk in.
Say it again.
I like it. I like it. I like that they're mentioning The Force Awakens as like their template scenario for what they want to have happen in this article. I think it's exciting.
It is exciting.
I wish that we had seen Bill Murray, seen a new photo of him in a flight suit. Yeah, I kind of think that
happen. They're gonna be really careful how they roll that stuff.
Yeah,
out.
It's a very cool article, but
I wouldn't doubt it if Bill Murray doesn't put a jumpsuit on. Like, what if I feel like it's not impossible that we get a scene where it's like super dramatic. This is me doing a John Urqueba. It's like there's going to be a super dramatic scene. It'll be the first time you see the three guys together. Dan Aykroyd's in his flight suit. Ernie Hudson's in his flight suit. Pans over to Bill Murray and he's like, I'm not putting that thing back on.
No way. Last time I put that thing on. But there's actually kind of if you think about it, Ghostbusters 2, there's the scene where they go in the museum. And three of them are wearing full gear, and Bill Murray's not. There's the scene where they're three going down into the sewer, and Bill Murray's just wearing casual clothes. Like it won't surprise. What everything Jake just said is very possible.
Yeah,
it would
he has like less slime on him.
Yeah,
less.
Less marshmallow. People, when I was a kid, I never understood. Like, man, Venkman really lucked out. No, it's Bill Murray going, I'm not putting that stuff on.
I'm a princess. It's in my rider. I don't want it.
He was okay with getting slimed the once, and it was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. Like in this article, he talks to the guy who wrote it about how uncomfortable it is and like how you always want to lean up against a wall when you're wearing the proton pack because of like the spine tilt.
Oh, and don't get me started on the Ghostbusters fan community. Well, Bill shouldn't be complaining because I wore a proton pack for 8 hours at Arizona Comic-Con last week.
A marathon.
Okay, Richard Dreyfuss, chill out.
I don't know why he's complaining.
When Craig gets cranky, he turns into Richard Dreyfuss.
That is literally what I read. A bunch of people use Bill Murray complaining about wearing a proton pack as a way to brag about themselves wearing a proton pack.
Right.
Lord have mercy. We got to help these people. So Rick Moranis, the article goes out of its way to say Rick Moranis will not be back. Is that a misdirection? Jake?
No, I don't think so. I think Jason Reitman is smart, and I don't think he's gonna try to just shoehorn characters in if it doesn't make sense to the story. And I guess that there probably are ways they could use him, but I don't think not having him back is. I don't think it's as big as a deal as people like. He's great in both films, but if it doesn't make sense, it's 30 years later. Like, why would he still be around? Like, it's just. I don't think if they're gonna tell us everybody else is if they're gonna tell us Bill Murray is in the movie, then why misdirect us about Rick Moranis? He's just not gonna participate.
Yeah, and maybe they're just using this article to set those expectations early. Right?
Yeah.
Possibly. To confront it.
Bill Murray is the one that everybody wants to know. But like Bill Murray is what some people hinged this on. Was
it weird reading that article and thinking like, man, Bill seems like he's having a lot of fun?
The thing that was weird to me about reading the article, and maybe not weird, but when he's personally talking about the script and talking about how there's good stuff in there and how it's touching and all that, like that's the kind of stuff that feels really good because Bill Murray has made it a point to only do movies that he really personally likes, or, like for a while he was doing nothing but like art films and, kind of like
projects.
Yeah, passion projects. And he does not like if it's not something he's interested in doing, for any reason, he doesn't do it, and he won't bullshit you about it. So like reading him be like this is good.
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah. And I
100%
don't
does.
doubt that, you know, his personal relationship with Harold Ramis and what happened between them and the fact that this is about the legacy of Egon Spengler. I'm sure that played part into it a little bit. And then it's Jason Reitman. And like, Bill Murray might be difficult, but by all accounts, he's a caring and loving person and really cares and loves for the people in his life.
Yeah.
And he's had this long standing relationship with Ivan Reitman. And, you know, they did Meatballs, and they did Stripes, they did Ghostbusters. And listen, if he didn't like the script, he'd probably be like, this sucks. But the fact that he read it and reacted so positively, I think that's great.
Yeah.
It makes me nothing but excited.
I think it validates whatever the story is in the script that he read. If that's Ivan Reitman got emotional when he read it. Like, it sounds like everybody's into this story, and it sounds really good. The only thing in the article that I found interesting was that it said that Jason Reitman was maybe the first Ghostbusters obsessive. I'm just wondering about Peter Mosen. Is there any other competition? Is that an act? Should we write the author and let him know?
This is why Pete Mosen did you notice we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but he did remove all mentions of Ghostbusters from his personal Facebook page. So I think he's just done. He's moving on.
Also, just to get back on that last subject, I would love to see Rick Moranis back, if in only like, I feel like Janine Melditz is going to be like the grandmother or like the mother of Carrie Coon. And I feel like Egon would be father, which it would be funny to see Rick Moranis show back up and like be confused about like thinking it's his kid. That's kind of what I could see that happening,
right,
and like
something
as
along
just a
those
fun
lines.
one-off joke at the end of the movie. I'd be into that.
Okay, sure. I'm not your biological dad, but got a trust fund set up for you, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, God, I want to be careful with the speculation and the build up, but then they release these articles, and I'm like, I can't. Of course, I'm going to speculate.
Yeah,
all right. Very good read. Go check it out.
100%.
Great stuff. Glad to see Bill having some fun and being part of the Ghostbusters family. And we got a hell of a year coming up with this stuff.
Speaking of Bill Murray having fun,
Real quick, I want to interject one thing before we move on to that, because that's really cool too. There was a tweet today from at Shandor Society, who is Timo. I've seen his name before. I think he's part of the German Ghostbusters. There was a licensing and toy fair event in Germany today. And he tweeted, "Today I had the chance to attend the Sony license preview at the Nuremberg Toy Fair with focus on Ghostbusters Afterlife. Saw spoilery production artwork, the toys, lots of cool stuff like a whole scene and more. Not allowed to talk about it, but all I can say, it was breathtaking." So,
okay.
and then he had a little picture of the little schedule that they had. So this stuff's going to keep happening. We're going to get little bits here and there. One thing, Finn Wolfhard in an interview with Hollywood Reporter did say that even though the first trailer was a little bit more on the serious side, that it is a very funny movie and that there is humor in every single scene of the movie, which I would expect from Ghostbusters. So I think it's going to be a good balance.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about this commercial. Bill Murray was spotted in Woodstock, Illinois, filming a Jeep commercial for Groundhog Day. It's probably going to be released on the Super Bowl, which is on Groundhog Day. Also spotted on set, Stephen Tobolowsky, who played Ned Ryerson, and Brian Doyle Murray, the mayor of Punxsutawney. Also, the owner and operator of Noah's Arcade.
It's hip, it's fresh, it's Noah's Arcade.
I told you this is an all Wayne's World episode. I have a layover in Pittsburgh and I see these kids. They must have pumped $50 into this machine. Anyways, how are we feeling about this? This kind of opens up a general conversation about all these commercials tapping into the what I call the YHS DNA. First was E.T. wasn't the first one, but what?
I got the quote up. "Come bust a move where the games are played. It's chill, it's fresh, it's Noah's Arcade."
Huh.
I had to get it.
How do we feel about this? Do we like this? Is it kind of cheap? I don't know. Jake, what do you think?
I think it's cool, man. I like when I usually don't give a shit about commercials, and a commercial is not going to make me. I don't think it's going to I'm not going to watch this commercial and be like, I got to go buy a Jeep. But
Jake comes rolling up in his new Jeep.
Gonna go buy Jeep. But I think it's cool, and I think it's cool when they do that. Fucking ET commercial was like, it was emotional. Like it made me cry. It was a fucking ET commercial, and I was like, holy shit, this is better than most sequels.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was a Jeep commercial a couple years ago with Jeff Goldblum, and he was outrunning a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I love it because it's like little side stories to your favorite movies, or it's just cool. Like, first of all, it's cool to see Bill Murray do anything. It's going to be cool to see Bill Murray play that role just for, probably a 30-second commercial.
Yeah, 100%. Phil Connors.
I wonder if it's going to be
Needlenose Ned.
Normally,
Ned the Head. I give 10 fucks to this subject, specifically to Ned Ryerson, Stephen Tobolowsky. Yeah, I dressed up like him for a special event.
Hey, listen. I wonder if it's one of those things where it's going to be like a 3-minute commercial that they divide into like smaller 30. I hope it's like a longer thing.
Yeah, I hope it's the same scenario replaying different ways throughout each time. Like the movie.
Yeah, like it's going to be different days of the thing he was stuck in. Yeah,
and he'll gradually change through each commercial.
God,
and then buy a Jeep at the end.
In which the last one he just runs Ned over with a Jeep.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. He's going to... Jeep's gonna have an ad of Bill Murray killing himself for 30 seconds. Like,
it's gonna be him with the bathtub and the toaster for sure.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, man. Like, I
think it's fantastic. We were talking about Groundhog Day in our bonus episode last week, and I was saying how important that movie is to me, and how much I love the groundhog and Bill Murray driving the truck together. So hopefully they do something like that for the Jeep commercial.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think like just seeing those set photos, they went to Woodstock. It looked like the weather was horrible. It looked like it was snowing. Bill Murray looked very cold and kind of miserable. And I love, that's what you want.
Yeah, that picture, it looks like Phil Connors is back stuck in the time loop, like seeing him walk past.
It kind of made me think, like, I never thought I would actually want to see a Groundhog Day sequel, but I think I would be 100% on board for it.
Yeah, like Phil Connors' character becomes like a worse person and goes through changes in life and needs to have that corrective time loop.
Like he just wakes up, like he's not even a weather person
I just
anymore.
want to see more of it.
He just wakes up and bunks a time.
I would feel, real talk, I'd feel bad if they made a Groundhog sequel with without Harold Ramis being around to have a say in.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
That makes sense.
But
respect.
Let me do it.
It's a perfect movie. Do it. But let Craig write it and direct it.
No, it's a sequel. It's called St. Patrick's Day. Same concept, but Warwick Davis is in it.
Warwick Davis.
Oh my god. I like it.
Cool. So that's happening, and then all these Super Bowl commercials are coming out. So there's a couple more I wanted to talk about. There's this Mountain Dew commercial, which is for Mountain Dew Zero, and it is featuring Bryan Cranston as Jack Torrance. It's so dumb, but it's also so well done that I just loved it. As somebody who's, listen, have I ever written, directed, and starred in a commercial? Of course I have. And I know.
Have you ever done a Jack Nicholson impression?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you have a right to talk about this.
So before we talk about the commercial itself, what do we think about Bryan Cranston as Jack Torrance? Let's say they're going to remake The Shining. Would you accept that casting?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Not before I saw this trailer. Then I was like, oh, you know what? I think he's probably too old for that role.
Right.
But
right.
I think I could believe him being a serious.
Yeah. I think he should have been in Dr. Sleep. I think they fucked up. But I think he's really good, and I think that this commercial's funny. The commercials are the whole reason I watch the Super Bowl. It's what I look forward to. It's what I used to watch as a kid. I don't give a shit about the actual game itself. Oh, I also like the halftime show. I love spectacle, and I love everyone engaging in one, like watching the same thing at once. But I saw some people complaining today that there's like Super Bowl trailers already being released online.
Yeah.
And they were like, I want to watch it when, during the game and be surprised. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm like, there are a big chunk of people. Like, I know a lot of people do watch the Super Bowl. And I know that it's like, it's a thing for the commercials to be crazy. But also, there's a giant chunk of people who don't give a fuck about sports,
Right.
and don't want to watch the Super Bowl, and they want as many people to see their commercials as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to put
Also,
them
if you
online.
want to wait, don't watch them.
Don't watch 'em.
Like
There's
the thing
always
is
that, yeah.
these companies pay $2-3 million for a 30-second spot. That doesn't mean that they don't want everybody. Like, there's a lot of people besides the people watching the game that they could just put it on YouTube or whatever and get additional views.
Yeah.
It's fun. So just go watch it. Just look up Mountain. It's funny because when he goes, "Here's Mountain Dew Zero," like his voice changes. It's funny.
Yeah.
I was like, God, why
I
didn't we
am
think
thirsty.
of
All that was funny. Yeah.
this? That was good.
It's
The best
set
part
deck
about
was
that
great.
though is that it kind of like, we had Dr. Sleep this year, and now we have a trailer or a commercial about The Shining, and it's like, that's one of my favorite films of all time, and and it's just good to see like your favorite things are still
relevant.
I know,
celebrated.
I know The Shining is like widely considered to be, a classic film and everything, but still, like, it's just still
but
that
it's
movie came
not
out a long time ago,
Right.
and to still see things like this happening, it's cool.
I think my favorite
Yeah.
part of when they cut to the elevators and it's the blood coming down, but it's Mountain Dew. I was
It's
like,
Mountain
Yeah.
that
Dew.
is so that is
Yeah.
clever.
Hey,
Love
not
that.
gonna make me go buy some Mountain Dew, but I like it.
fuck
Hell
Mountain
no.
Dew.
I am loyal
I would never drink a Mountain Dew.
to buy antioxidant cocoa fusion and Dr. Pepper.
Is that a
Yeah, it's in the family.
okay, thank God.
It's in the family.
The family.
Sweating over here. That's a drink.
Now that's a drink right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yes Have Some Podcast presents
Bye.
No, that is good stuff. So then there's this other commercial that comes out today, which is the hey, now this is definitely in family. The Walmart
Hey now.
pickup with the visitors commercial
Curbside pickup
is great.
to go. No, that's Applebee's. I'm sorry. I used to work at one.
This commercial, so this was kind of similar to the one they did last year. So last year is the one that had all the vehicles, right? So you got like the Batmobile, the Ecto-1, and the
Yeah, that was
DeLorean,
tight.
and Slimer and all that. This one has
Aliens.
Aliens. It's got Men in Black. It's got there's not aliens. It's not in it.
But it's like all sorts of different.
It's true. It's
Okay,
all
time
visitors.
travel.
So you've got.
But it's not just aliens.
It's
though.
not.
It's like
I immediately
mainly
regretted
things
that.
fly. It does have a lot of aliens, but
It
it,
does,
also
but
has Bill
there's
from
time
Bill and
travel.
Ted, and
right.
it has
It's like a science fiction type of thing.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually
I'd like to
reminded
take
me-
that back.
It kind of reminded me of the cartoon All Stars drug episode.
Yes.
All
Getting
these-
everybody together.
Well,
cameos.
Hey, when's the last time you saw Star Trek and Star Wars featured in the same commercial? It's never happened. That's insane.
I like it.
It's like that scene in Space Jam where you got Bugs Bunny and like it's like having all the same
And yeah.
No, it's like in Roger Rabbit with
Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse. That's what I meant. Roger
yeah.
Rabbit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say Daffy, then I was like, nope, don't do that. You
so
already fucked up.
it's a really cool commercial. Check that out. But I want to talk specifically about the Bill and Ted thing.
Yeah.
The phone booth hits. The music immediately gets awesome. It's like this 80s rock song. And then Alex Winter as Bill steps out with young Bill calling it right now. That's some good de-aging technology.
Yeah. He has like the perfect eye squint at one point when he's like talking, and that you don't know, the eyes are what always gets fucked up. Speaking of The Irishman.
Yeah.
Like we're not talking about that. We're not going to
Speaking
talk
of
about
The
I don't
Irishman.
want to speak of The Irishman. Not now. But usually the eyes are difficult to get right, and he looks really good and like young, exactly like he did in the movies.
It was
the
really
originals.
cool.
But I love though. It's like that they wanted to have Bill and Ted,
Right.
but they were like, okay, well, we can't get Keanu Reeves. It's time travel. Let's just put two Bills in it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Genius. It works out perfectly to just have two Bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really well done, and like also it looked like Alex Winter was wearing the clothes from the new movie. Like when
And I guarantee you there's young and old Bill and Ted in the new film.
you know what's funny? I never even considered that. as-
100%. And they'll probably play off of each other, and yeah, I'm excited.
It was really cool. I was so I'm so hyped for the new Bill and Ted movie, and like that just got me even like 10 times. Like Ghostbusters is my favorite thing in the world, and I love Star Wars. But when it comes to like a fun, just like feel good property, like There's nothing better than both Bill and Ted movies. I am very excited.
Yeah.
For Bill and Ted Face the Music. So, yeah, very cool. Very cool. So check that out. And then I kind of wanted to open the floor to you guys. I have no idea if anybody came up with anything.
Oh, and the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Mars Attack. Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
And also like Arrival randomly.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff in there. What else could they do, right? I feel like they've done Back to the Future already in commercials before. Like we've seen Doc Brown pop up from time to time, like in shoe commercials and stuff like that. They've done Bill and Ted. They've done Ghostbusters. Like, they've done
Leprechaun.
E.T.
It's time to do Leprechaun.
For like
Ninja Turtles.
Wait, yeah, a Lucky Charms Leprechaun commercial.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. The mom's like, wrong Leprechaun. The kid's like, hey, I found a friend, you know. It's Warwick Davis.
Are you looking for heart stars, horseshoes, clovers, and blue moons? No.
You just see the kid's severed hand holding the spoonful.
He pours a cereal box over, and the gold shilling comes out of it.
Yeah.
He's like, Mom, look what I found. And it's like his mom's Jennifer Aniston.
There it is. That pulls everyone in. The
now
over 50 demographic.
Now we're talking. So we got the Leprechaun Lucky Charms commercial.
We really should make commercials.
Yeah, we really should.
You know?
What about another one? I was thinking like maybe
Free Willy?
For
kind
what?
of difficult. I don't know. Just threw it out there.
SeaWorld?
Yeah.
Blackfish does a Free Willy commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a SeaWorld commercial for the legacy sequel to Free Willy called We're Not Going to Free Willy.
I think it would be cool if they did some sort of Freddy Krueger commercial. I don't know what it would be for, but I feel like Robert Englund would come back.
He would do that.
Put the makeup on and do that.
For
I don't
sleep
know
number?
what it could be for, but what? What'd
for
you say?
sleep number beds?
Yeah,
like a mattress commercial?
Maybe.
For
like
Mattress
he's coming
Factory.
out of the wall above because he wants to get on the mattress?
Hold on. It's Freddy Krueger is trying to get you to buy a sleep number bed because he's like, you sleep so much better. And he just wants you to go to sleep.
Yeah. What's your number, bitch?
Somebody's like, you look familiar. It's like Freddy Krueger in a disguise.
He's got the fucking Mattress Factory uniform on. He's
set
just a
your number to
salesman.
666.
He set the number 1, 2. Freddy's come for you.
I want to see him as a mattress salesman. Like
I've been pushing
getting really excited about people falling asleep.
Yeah. See, this is
resistance.
This is good writing.
Well, I'm just imagining the people like they show.
We're for hire.
Yeah, guys, y'all listening.
You know when you go to you see those mattress commercials and it's like, come for the President's Day sale here at Mattress Factory, and it shows like people looking at the bed. Like I imagine like somebody lays down on the bed and the salesman's like showing them like how to do it, and then like on the wall you see like Freddy like with the crucifix, his like head's coming out. That'd be awesome. God, they need to do that.
Like now, which mode flips you up onto the ceiling and then spins you around while releasing all of your blood?
Hey, you know what? This is not a hot take. Nightmare on Elm Street is so good.
Yeah,
I'm getting so good.
This is the first moment that I've had like a pang for Halloween, and I want to watch scary movies.
Will you hand me that?
Which one?
The
just pointing. You're just pointing.
Hand me that. I want to show it off for a second. Got something to show.
This the one I got you from Target?
No, not this. Although this is cool. It's like one of those little kid robot Freddy plushes. No, a buddy of mine, Jake, you probably have this. A friend of mine from work, Peter, he brought me this recently, which is, I will describe to our audio listeners, a Matchbox Nightmare on Elm Street talking Freddy Krueger doll Minton package. And I think it still works. Let's see what he says.
That's it?
Okay.
Come on. Dude,
One more?
You gotta do some more. Wait, hold on, let me do it one more time.
Okay.
Here comes OCD.
Welcome to Elm Street.
I feel like you should say
Can I get you a
bitch.
mattress? So anyways,
Cool.
very cool. Yeah, I like these
Are
commercials.
you a side sleeper?
Right. Yeah. What do you think your REM cycle's like? Sleeping is weird. There's this app I saw. They keep showing it to me on Facebook. It's like it tracks your sleep throughout the night and it like monitors what you're doing. And it's so dumb. The app's like at 2:15 you coughed. At 3:30 you farted. at 5 a.m. you were in your deepest sleep. I'm like, this has to be bullshit.
Yeah.
But I'm getting it.
How does it how does it through an? Do you have to have like an
camera?
Apple Watch or something for that? How does it?
I
track
have
you?
no idea. I don't know. You
Doesn't
put
make any sense.
you put. I have no idea. Hey, guess what? Probably doesn't work. No apps work.
I don't want to know anything.
Words from I don't need a report on my. I don't want to wake up and
At
get
4:30 a.m., you were awoken by gunshots.
Yeah, exactly.
At 6 a.m., you got on Zillow to look up new properties to live in.
At 8 a.m., you did a meditation to fall back asleep.
Yes. Okay. I hope they keep doing these commercials. And I would love to get in a room and just pitch things for different products. Like, what are you selling? What old movie can we, like, MARTA Bus in Atlanta do like a speed commercial?
Yes. Oh, we could revamp MARTA so fast.
Although I don't know how you would do that.
I don't know if it's good to introduce the idea of a bomb on the bus as part of it.
Or that the MARTA buses are speeding.
Right.
No, but if we could get Keanu Reeves,
Come to
we
MARTA,
could
we
do
have
it.
terrorists.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't think if Walmart couldn't get Keanu Reeves, I don't think the MARTA bus can.
You don't think?
That's what I'm saying.
MARTA's smarter.
Hey, if you don't live in Atlanta, you probably have no
You probably
idea
don't know what
we're
we're talking about. It's our public transit system.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a bus
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
train.
It's a
thing.
bus and a train.
It's just one bus
Can you
and
believe
one
it?
train.
Both things. Cool. So any other ideas? We can move on here to our Jurassic World.
Not sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you have any,
I give that commercial 10 fucks.
Okay, thank you. If you have any ideas, get in the Yes Have Some Facebook group therapy, our official discussion group, and let us know what commercials and movies you'd like to see.
I will
mashed
use
up.
your ideas and hopefully make money off of them.
Maybe Gone Girl for like a high-powered divorce attorney.
That's good. Yeah.
okay.
Or Ace Ventura for like Impossible Burger.
Whoa!
That's a good idea, Jake. That's a really
like
good.
a
I'm writing
Burger
that
King.
down.
For Burger King, that's a
Impossible
good
Burger or
one.
something. That'd be
Mm-hmm.
good.
That would be good. Hey, speaking of Ace Ventura, this Ace Ventura 3 rumor has been going around for a couple months, but now there's a rumor that he might do a sequel to The Mask. What? Are we about to be in a Jim Carrey renaissance? By the way, before you answer that question, Sonic the Hedgehog tracking for $45 million opening weekend, which is much higher than I was expecting.
Dang.
So,
In order to have a renaissance, he would have had to have gone away for a certain period, which I don't feel like he's like declined in popularity.
but I'm talking about like
think he has.
a comedy renaissance.
Yeah. He hasn't done a Jim Carrey movie since.
Okay.
Like Bruce Almighty was like his
Yeah.
last like.
Why do I feel like Bruce Almighty was a recent movie?
It was
wasn't.
20 years
Yeah, it was a
ago.
long time ago.
Also, that's still like not in the. I feel like you can put The Mask, the Ace Ventura movies, like those.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumber. Those are all in kind of a category of their own, and he hasn't done a movie like that since.
I think
The Mask.
the craziest thing about like that time period is how much people did not like The Cable Guy when it came out, and over time how good it is. Like it's
We
so
talked
good.
about 90s movies that were marketed in their trailer as a comedy that were distinctly not funny, that were like actually kind of either dark humor or
Right.
just not.
I don't think they knew how to market
Yeah.
that movie, but
Yeah.
man, that's a good movie.
It is a very funny movie. It's just it came out at a time where people were expecting it to be another like Ace Ventura or The Mask,
Right.
and it is
Yeah.
funny, but it's not in the same kind of way. For sure.
Probably a little bit ahead of its time, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Fun fact: Chris Farley was offered that role and had to turn it down because of David Spade. It's a whole thing, but there was a lot of resentment between them because of it.
Okay.
Should I just tell the
It's
story
like
real
their
quick?
Groundhog Day.
It was their Groundhog Day. After Tommy Boy, they had an option to do another movie that they both had to like agree on. There was some sort of contract dispute. He was offered Cable Guy, but David Spade pushed for them to do Black Sheep instead. So that's the story.
I'm glad that happened. I don't think I would have that would have been a completely different movie without
Totally different.
Jim Carrey.
100%
Yeah.
different. Here's a hot take. I'm not going to go there. Chris Farley is one of the funniest people of all time. He does not have that many great movies.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy is kind of like,
Dirty Work.
I feel like
But that's not his movie.
Chris Farley was always great in like smaller bursts to me. You know?
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he shows up in Wayne's World. He shows up in Airheads. He's very funny, owns the moment, but like, I don't know. Does this sound blasphemous?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he was in some stinkers for sure.
Like that Beverly Hills Ninja movie's not good.
Black Sheep.
Black Sheep's not that good.
I remember watching Black Sheep after, because I would watch Tommy Boy every weekend with my best friend, and then we rented Black Sheep, and I was like, this is not.
But Tommy Boy's great.
Yeah, Tommy Boy's great.
Is Adam Sandler my favorite actor? Okay. He's not.
All right.
But he's got some good movies. All right. Let's talk about Jurassic World. This one's kind of hard to talk about because I don't know. Basically, people were guessing the new name for the new Jurassic World on Twitter, and then Colin Trevorrow said somebody got it, and then a separate tweet used the terminology new era. So people started putting pieces together and came up with, the reports were Jurassic World 3 New Era confirmed title. I don't think that's...
Back in June, he used the term new era in reference to another tweet to somebody who put up their wedding video.
Yeah. I just don't... I think people are maybe reaching at straws here, but if it does end up being new era, I guess we should at least acknowledge it. We do talk about Jurassic Park a lot here in the Jurassic World franchise. Jake, you're the expert. I'll throw to you. I know what you're going to say, but I can't wait to hear it. What do you think of the subtitle New Era?
I'm just as indifferent as I am to Fallen Kingdom or Afterlife or any other subtitle. I think they're all pretty pointless, and I don't think New Era. I just don't like them. Period. I don't like subtitles to movies. It should just be Jurassic World 3. It should just be Ghostbusters 3. It should have been Jurassic World 2. I just don't care for them. It's a friend of the podcast, Mr. Sony, was saying that, the reason that you get titles like that now is because audiences are less likely to go see a movie if it's part 3, and that makes people feel like they have to have seen 1 and 2, and you might get a smaller number. And first of all, I believe that. I believe that, but that's bullshit. Like that, because the general audience is stupid.
Everyone gets punished.
Everybody gets punished, and our movies all have to have dumb subtitles now. I hate it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're suffering.
I don't like Afterlife. I don't like New Era. I don't like any of them. They're all pointless.
Say it.
It's a dark fate for us. That's what I was going to say.
Do not bring dark fate into this. That article mentioned dark fate about Ghostbusters that we were talking about earlier, and like how that
they better not talk about dark fate during my Ghostbusters.
Get dark fate out of here. That's not a part of this conversation. Also, I give zero fucks to this title. I think it sounds like a New World Order. Like it sounds like a wrestling name, and it's dumb. It's not into it.
Yesterday, Abby was like, they should just call it Jurassic World Generation X. It's like, okay,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a very big issue with the subtitles because I do understand that the more you number a movie, there might be a negative connotation, or market research shows people are less likely to go sequel after sequel after sequel. But
meanwhile, the new Fast and Furious posters are out, and it's called Fast and Furious 9.
It is. Hey, by the way, I'm very excited for that trailer. I'm all in on the Fast universe. Okay. New Era. Jake, you corrected me yesterday, and I was glad that you did, because I was like, man, that just sounds so generic, like if that's the title. And you were specifically talking about, well, it's referencing like the Jurassic era or the other ones.
Okay.
Cretaceous, Triassic.
Cretaceous.
They're referred to as eras or periods.
Cumulus clouds.
Cumberbund.
Yeah.
Benedict
Cumberbatch era.
Yeah, they would. So
yeah.
Yeah,
but I think it's also referencing like that little Battle at Big Rock, that short film. That's like we're now living with dinosaurs, and they're part of our everyday life.
That's exactly what it means. Like there was a Jurassic period, the Jurassic era. There was the Cretaceous era. We are now in a new era of dinosaurs existing. Right. So it does like make sense, but that doesn't make it necessary or cool or whatever. It
sounds like there's like 3 T-Rexes that are like they have
Sounds
intro
like
music.
sounds like what you would call an animated series or something.
Yeah, it sounds like intro.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, the title of the movie does not have anything to do with the quality of the movie. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't. Like, I don't.
How do you feel about Colin Trevorrow though, like being all like teasing and trying to play games with Twitter and like releasing the name that way? You think that's? I would prefer it just like find out officially and not have that kind of speculation.
It's like Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. That's how I feel.
Man, lots of Colin Trevorrow talk the last couple weeks on the. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about the movie. I'm glad that Laura Dern's back. I'm glad that Sam Neill's back. I'm glad that Jeff Goldblum's back. I think it's going to be a cool movie.
Yeah.
But it may be that it would be cool if they came up with a name for the new era, and that was the name, like the something era. But I don't know what that would be.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
The Trevorrow era.
The Trevorrow
Okay.
era, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I can see it.
What if they called it "This auction went really poorly and now dinosaurs rule the world" era?
Yeah.
I hope they call it the Attitude Era.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you do the
All the wrestle, like all the.
Degeneration X?
All the dinosaurs have wrestler
where they're
names.
allowed to show more blood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's a little bit more violent.
They rip their shirts off.
Sables in it. A little more gratuitous nudity, things
Cool.
like that. Body paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a one of the new Raptors. His name's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There's a live sex celebration.
The Allosaurs have joined Degeneration X.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
If you want to see me put this 6-inch retractable collar up his ass, give me a hell yeah. Like that?
Yes. Jurassic World Attitude Era. Let's release shirts. I think it's a good idea.
I think that's really funny.
I think that's very cool.
Are you ready? Goddamn, son.
I want to see a T-Rex blow water out like Triple H does.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're doing.
It would be cool. It would be cool. Plus, women's wrestling is a lot more popular now, and all the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are women anyway, so it's pretty cool. It's cool.
Hell, if you want to see me go up to a paleontologist and give him a Stone Cold Stone, give me a hell yeah. Maybe all the dinosaurs are talking.
Hey, what if they did it? They call it the Attitude Era, and it's just Alan, instead of bringing back Sam Neill, Alan Grant is just played by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Hell, they call out here
that little kid's like that's not very scary.
Oh yeah, well here's to ya.
Puts his hand up, a beer just comes to his hand out of nowhere.
I love it. I love everything that's happening. Right? Macho Man could be in it. Bret Hart could be in it. Like Bret Hart's a really boring Brachiosaurus. He's like, well, I'm walking out here and I got a long neck and I just want to eat my leaves and up here in Calgary we have a lot of plant life that we eat and I'm not trying to bother anybody, but Vince McMahon, he's a real piece of crap. That's my Bret Hart impression.
Wow.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon plays John Hammond.
Yeah. He walks up to Nedry. He's like, "Hey, Nedry, you're fired."
Stephanie McMahon's Lex.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
This is
Cool.
fantastic.
This is a
Fan
good
fiction. Fantastic.
I don't know. I'm waiting for that Macho Man. I don't know if he's gonna pull it out, folks.
Was he gonna pull it out?
Like Macho Man is he'd be a Velociraptor and he'd be.
I think he would voice the T-Rex.
Yeah, Macho Man be voicing the T-Rex. He'd be cutting a promo on all the I don't know, Dilophosaurs or whatever.
Yeah.
No, the Dilophosaurus would be Triple H doing the spit with the water. That'd be
Doing the spin.
Oh, that's tight.
running around the jungle. Yeah. Have we lost our minds?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Cool. Did a bunch of wrestling impersonations. That was good.
Well, dinosaurs have done lots of things in lots of different shows and movies. I think it's time for them to wrestle. I think it's time for us to
I was
write
doing
it.
a Steve-O impression earlier for no reason.
This is.
What is a
I asked
Steve-O
you to do
impression?
it, so do
Because
it.
it was like, remember at the end of Jackass, the first Jackass, where they're supposed to put the car up his butt and he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to upset his dad? He's like his dad.
What part of the car?
It's like a toy car.
Oh, toy car.
They
It's a
put
whole
it-
car.
And he puts it
Okay.
up his butt. He's
Okay.
like,
What part of the
and he's
car?
like,
It was like a tailpipe.
he's like, I don't know, man. I don't want to upset my dad, because he's like, I don't know, man. He's just be like disappointed in
I thought
me.
you were doing a Mark Maron impression the entire time. Turns out it was Steve-O.
I just like the Steve Austin Velociraptor. Here's to ya. Dun, 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 dun.
Raptor 316.
Raptor 316 says, I just clawed your ass.
Yes. Yes, then we make bottle openers that look like the claws.
Which bottle? We can make bottle openers.
Bottle openers with the claw. I think it's a great idea.
Cool. All right. So
I think it's a better idea than Jurassic Park or Jurassic World New Era.
that's
title.
also that's like a hat company. New Era.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know.
All right. So none of us love the title.
Nope.
None of us have any good ideas for alternate titles other than a bunch of wrestling.
Attitude Era.
Just Attitude Era, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Anything else?
No.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about this other thing.
Oh, yeah, there's another thing.
By the way, we should mention that it's not confirmed, right? That is not 100% confirmed.
No, I don't
So
think it's confirmed.
it could be something. It could be something close to that, but let's not jump to any conclusions. All right. Lastly, I wanted to talk about this. This is a really interesting story to me. This remake, reboot, revisitation of The Thing that Universal is partnering up with Blumhouse to do. Apparently, the story goes is the original movie of The Thing and obviously the John Carpenter remake, which is the most revered version, was based on this short story that was published in this science fiction magazine. And the original authors had a full manuscript, like it was a whole novel that was recently discovered. So it was a longer version of the story that apparently includes a lot more backstory and cool shit. There was a Kickstarter campaign to get this full novel released, and they optioned it out, and Universal and Blumhouse bought it, and they're going to fast track it and make a new version of The Thing based on Frozen Hell, which the quote says, Frozen Hell... I want to read that.
Expands the Thing story.
You want to do it?
Dramatically, giving vital backstory and context to an already incredible tale.
I want to dig into that, but Jake, you're more you're our horror guru, and you love this. I love The Thing as well, but I don't know. What do you think about this? They tried to do a prequel to The Thing about 10 years ago that wasn't that well received. How'd you feel about this news?
I mean, I'm for it, man. Like, I'm good with like the movies. There's already been 3 versions of this movie. There's a book. There's 3 versions of the movie. There was a comic series. There was a game. Fucking make it. I don't care. Make another. Make 10 more versions of The Thing. I'll watch every one of them, good or bad. I read the book, not the newer full-length version, but I read the shorter version a couple years ago, and I was surprised how close John Carpenter's movie is to it. It's closer than like the original, the old black and white movie. The Thing has like, it's generally the same story, but it's very different. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if this new version has a lot of like stuff we haven't seen before, a lot of stuff we haven't read, like more backstory, whatever, man, like that sounds cool to me. I would be, obviously, we don't know who's involved yet as far as like writing, directing, casting. We don't know what the effects are going to be like, all of that stuff. The best thing about the John Carpenter's The Thing is that the effects are terrifying. They're gross. They're all practical. They're really, really like creative and out there and really insane. And that was the worst thing about the prequel that came out a couple of years ago, was that it was all completely CGI, and it was like a very, very bad copy of what was done way better. So I would be concerned about how they're going to handle that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm into it.
Do you think it matters whether or not they try to, like, would you rather see something that takes place in universe of the John Carpenter movie and kind of get back to that, or you think you should just do a completely new thing?
I don't want that at all. No, I don't. I think that's when you get, I've always kind of been in the mind where, like, if you're trying to make a sequel out of something, mm-hmm. sometimes that is kind of what bothers me. If you're gonna make it its own thing and it's just a new adaptation of a book that that we haven't seen before. You know, this book is going to be like half stuff that's been out there and half new stuff.
Right.
So why it wouldn't make sense to make it fit into the other world, because it's going to be covering all the same shit that happened in that movie. So making it canon
brand new,
to that movie doesn't make sense, and also limits what you can do in your new movie and kind of like holds you down a little bit. So just fuck that movie. That's its own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
leave it be.
do your own thing. Do your own version. Do whatever you want with it.
Right.
Yeah, don't follow beat for beat stuff, or make it completely different. I think that's that's how I feel about it too.
Yeah, I don't think it just depends on the property with me. Sometimes I like them to try to keep it in universe. Sometimes, especially with horror, like I remember when they were remaking like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, I was all about them kind of restarting and doing something new. Unfortunately, just both of those specifically didn't pan out very well. So
They
like
didn't have Freddy Krueger as a mattress salesman, so they weren't good movies.
They didn't even listen to me.
Yeah.
I think it's hard because I think specifically with something like Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund as that character is so intrinsically tied to that movie.
Yes.
And obviously Kurt Russell and that entire cast is great in The Thing, but I don't think it's like you can't make a Thing movie without Kurt Russell. I think you just got to get some talented storytellers to put a good script together and adapt.
Special effects that have a vision, because like that's part of the original that was so cool.
Right. And like it's not like everything Blumhouse has done has like been turned to gold, but you do get the feeling that they care about these properties, that they're not just like, not yet. It hasn't turned into like shitfest yet. I'm sure it will eventually. It'll just be like, what are they doing? Like when the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake comes out, you know that's going to happen. And that's one I want to see tied to the original, because the story itself is not good enough to exist on its own. Right?
Just a guy coming back and
just a guy who gets
seeking revenge
How
for
did that
being
movie
murdered.
get made? Guys, listen. He gets hit by a car.
But he comes back.
You'll never know. A year later, he's back. It's like, that's your movie?
Yeah.
I'm not. It's like, wait a minute.
Freddie Prinze Jr. was the only reason I cared about
Yeah,
these
then they're like
movies.
Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay,
we'll do it.
All right, okay. That was enough reason for me at that, whatever age it was.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I rewatched that movie recently, and it's awful.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It ain't
It's
good.
when I remember. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I've been having hot takes my whole life, and I specifically remember being like, "Oh, that movie's better than Scream." 100%. 100%. I was
We
like,
should call this episode "Salty Hot Takes."
It was in 7th grade. It's
Okay.
clearly 50 times worse than Scream. Scream is amazing.
Scream is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about, they're talking about Scream 5 now and bringing back, like, this is the thing they keep doing. They're like, oh, but it'll have the original cast. I'm like, guess what? The first 4 Scream movies all have the original cast. They already did this. They do. And that's what, it's like when people are like, can you believe Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back? Yes, she's been in a lot of the Halloween movies. Kind of the same thing with Bill Murray. Can you believe he's doing Ghostbusters? Yes, there's been 3 Ghostbusters movies. He's in all 3 of them.
He's in all of them.
Like, name an actor coming back to a franchise that would actually be like truly shocking. I don't even know.
I'm trying to think of someone that like famously didn't want to reprise a role. Besides Rick Moranis.
Right. I think Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray doing another What About Bob would be mind blowing.
Fuck, that would be amazing.
Fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
They should do that. That might make it better.
Right.
Uh-huh.
That's what made the first one so
Method
good.
acting.
Yeah.
I love that.
Real hatred between two actors.
They hated each other. Bill
great.
Murray tormented him.
Yeah.
I for some reason Bill Murray does not like Richard Dreyfuss. Doesn't respect
That's
him.
like Jim Carrey
here's
and
the thing. Hold
Tommy
on.
Lee Jones.
I have a theory.
All right.
I just think nobody likes Richard Dreyfuss. I think maybe Richard Dreyfuss maybe he's an asshole.
He's a little much.
He does seem like there are a lot of accounts of him being a jerk in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
There were a lot of accounts of him not getting along with
I'm not
Robert Shaw.
I was going to say, come on, man.
And even though
Come on.
Richard Dreyfuss claims that that's not true,
Most people think
it
it's
has
true.
to be
Right.
because there were years and years where that was talking points by a lot of people, even Roy Scheider, and then all of a sudden Richard Dreyfuss was like, no, we loved each other. it was this, it was that, and I'm like, you're just doing damage control now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a little bit. It's probably a little bit of both, but you're just doing damage control.
There's
but if Bill Murray didn't like you, Robert Shaw didn't like you, maybe you're just an asshole.
maybe it's a you problem.
Yeah.
There's that video of some talk show where like Robert Shaw's granddaughter's on it with Richard Dreyfuss, and he's like, and I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, wait, I thought he hated Robert. Like I've always heard that, like that. I don't know. I hope he didn't. I hope was the rumor that.
What do we think? We've all met him.
There's a rumor that he pissed on Robert Shaw's grave.
Don't ask him about it.
I'm not going to.
You're not going to win the $20 that he offers at every speaking
I
event.
told the story before.
Yeah.
I think Richard Dreyfuss seems like, even now as an old man, he seems very. He usually is in a good mood if you're watching. Panels or you're at a talk. I've been able to see him a few times, and he's always in a good mood. But he does have a temper. He does have like a crotchety old man side to him, and I think he is pretty full of himself. And I think probably when he was a young actor, he probably thought a little highly of himself, and he was working against Robert Shaw, who is, this extremely, highly acclaimed star of stage and screen. Yeah. And he's kind of like a legend, and he probably didn't love the way Richard Dreyfuss carried himself. There probably was a little bit of an annoyance there, but also it was probably not. I'm sure they didn't hate each other.
I feel
but
like
it was probably like a back and forth.
Do we need to right now improv an on-set tension between Robert Shaw and
over
Richard?
them going for the same sandwich at the crafty table?
Yeah, I'm
like,
down.
Oh, did you want the everything bagel? Because I mean, it's the last one.
Trying to get the cream cheese, huh?
Yeah, well, I did want the cream cheese, but you reached for it first.
I reckon the cream cheese is mine, Cheesy.
And my problem with you is I've never done Shakespeare, and you have, and you think that makes you intellectually superior to me.
Well, I think it does. You ever read a Shakespeare play, huh? You ever read those words? Takes a big man to understand what he's saying.
No, it takes a big man to criticize publicly. I am a well-trained actor. I am a younger man than you. I have a lot more girlfriends than you. I don't know what that means. I have more girlfriends than you. That's what it's connected to. That's what he would do. He would do some sort of reaction like that.
You got city hands, Mr. Dreyfuss.
I can't work in these conditions, Steven.
Richard, get away from the crafty table now.
Who's that?
Ellen Brody. You hurt your father. Get out of the water. Get out of the water now.
I feel like
minds.
the two of us need to write a script.
Yeah,
of,
a two-man
like
show.
An argument between those two guys and record it. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it for Patreon or something. But it's like that'd be funny.
Hi, Steven, let me talk to you for a second. We're at the table, and your beloved Scottish Shakespearean actor, he grabbed the same bagel as me, and I can't work in these conditions. Right. We've gone. This is
Tiger shark.
We've jumped the tiger shark is what's happened. Yeah. Although I'm having fun.
No, I'm having a good time.
I like that Ellen Brody's on set with them. Nobody else.
Just Ellen. What's
She's
her
in
name?
her separate boat out there watching.
Yeah.
Michael Caine's not there.
Yeah.
He just jumped to the floor.
hat.
She's like
suit.
yelling at Roy Scheider to put his sunscreen on.
Roy, get away from that crafty table now.
I'm getting paid.
You heard your father.
They paid me a boatload of money for this movie.
Is Michael Caine's in it?
He's in the fourth one.
Oh, he is in the fourth one. Oh, when they're having that.
Michael Caine, he's the pilot.
Yeah. He's a pilot.
He knows it's rubbish, but he's getting paid a lot of money for it. Okay.
I don't know that he got paid a lot of money for Jaws 4.
I think there was a famous quote.
Well, you got to go film in the Bahamas.
There's a famous quote from Michael Caine where they ask him what he thought of Jaws 4, and he's like, well, it built my last house. Something crazy like that. I don't know.
He built a prison in a more specifically something part of the world.
There's a prison.
There it is.
The more ancient part of the world.
Okay.
That's where Bane's from.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Fucking idiot.
Yes, have some impressions.
This has been mostly impressions.
Yeah,
episode.
thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Anything
Listeners.
else? Anything else we want to bring to the? Any
We
other
appreciate
impressions
you.
to
If
bring
you'd
to the
like to
table?
do more impressions,
No.
join group therapy.
Yeah, tell them
on
about
Facebook.
Tell them about group therapy.
Go to facebook.com and search for Yes Have Some Podcast Group Therapy. You will find our closed group of 700 almost members, I think, at this point.
Over 700.
It's well over 700. Ask to join. Either myself, Craig, or Jake will accept you, and you can comment and critique Craig's impressions.
Please don't.
Just post quality content, no memes. We love you. And that's it.
Thank you. We've got so to update everybody, so it is the 29th of January. We have Toy Fair coming up. We will be in New York City for Toy Fair 2020 for all of the big reveals. I'm very excited to see NECA.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Diamond Select and Funko, and of course Hasbro, who's doing a big presentation on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What? Let's end on this note. What are we expecting from Hasbro as far as Ghostbusters go? Like, what would be your ideal scenario? Like, what is something that would just get you even over the hill, even more excited than you already are about this new movie? Why don't I start? I know I've been thinking about this. I really have been.
I was about to say a Hardee's partnership where they release cups again, because that would make me very happy.
With the Ghostbusters 2 logo.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you to
just for
friend of the podcast, Zach Myers, who I don't know if I did a bad thing or not. There's this website called eBlueJay. It's kind of like eBay or Etsy. It's just a selling app. I'd never heard of it. And he's like, dude, check this out. It's one of the original Ghostbusters 2 tumbler mugs there from 1988. And I bought it. I just bought it immediately.
You sniped it from our friend.
I think he was going to buy it, but I bought it. Listen, if he wants it, he's going to have to come and get it. Yeah, I don't know. I love this thing. This is beautiful.
Cool.
But yeah, more of this, more partnerships. I want an Ecto one. I really want I want 6-inch action figures. I want an Ecto one to put them in and roll them around the house. That's what I want. Obviously, the Kenner Ecto one's one of the greatest toys of all time. So something even kind of similar to that, I'd be happy. But maybe like based on the new movie, kind of beat up and maybe it's got a little gunner seat.
That'd be
cool.
super tight. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I feel like I'm sure we're going to get something like that at some point.
Yeah.
Egon's underground lair playset.
What if they did
that'd be amazing.
What if they did like a farmhouse playset and it's like, usually the playsets are like multiple like tiered level or whatever.
Right.
Top level is the farmhouse.
Yes.
With the car. Level under it has the pole goes down.
Yeah.
The second level is the like
Interior
where all
firehouse.
the packs are and all the stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then there's a 4th level, and it's Man Helton, and now you're just in Dan Aykroyd's Hellbent script. It combines all of the Ghostbusters scripts that ever happened.
The bottom level is the mine.
Yes.
Dude, the whole thing from the outside looks like Dan Aykroyd's head, and you open it up, and that's what's inside.
Outside of the farmhouse.
Yeah, it's like a Polly Pocket.
It looks like cone heads, but it's like.
Ooh,
I'm down.
No more impressions. I'm tired.
Come on, Dan.
Come to the farmhouse.
There it
Come
is.
down my pole. We are from France.
You push the button, and that's so great.
We are from New York. We now live in Oklahoma.
Dude, a Dan Aykroyd head playset that you can like accessorize in all the different movies he's been in, like are the different levels inside.
Okay,
That's cool.
There you go.
That's cool. Hasbro, I hope you're listening.
If they were, they turned it off. I mean, there's been rumors about a 6-inch line, kind of similar to Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series, and I think that's what I'm most looking forward to. And obviously, if they do any retro releases, any Kenner stuff, I think if they put out, I'll put it this way: if they want to set the world on fire, put out Kenner ectoplasm in the original packaging. You will see people losing their minds.
Yeah.
Because slime's a big thing already, right? Every brand, go to Target, there's slime everywhere. But you need that real Ghostbusters logo and the colorful, pink and purple, blue cans.
Oh.
That would be great.
Yeah. At like a nice, reasonable price. That would make great. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
All right. Jake, anything else from Hasbro that you might be looking forward to?
I think it would be cool if, I don't think this is just like a wishful thinking kind of thing, but how like there are, you got like the Black Series helmets and stuff like that. You have like the more high end props or whatever.
Yep.
I think it would be cool if they did some sort of, I don't know, kind of like maybe like a statue, something that isn't super expensive, not 1-to-1 scale, but if you could buy like maybe busts of the different ghosts or something would be cool. Like if you had, you know, Slimer, the Scolari brothers, Librarian, you know, just like something that was something, but I want it to look like them. I want, whenever the Slimer figures start coming out, I would love for it to look like Slimer. I feel like
I know what you're talking about.
All of the toys, the sculpt for Slimer has never looked like what Slimer actually looks like in any of the movies. They get it close here and there, but none of the toys look right. And I'm like, I don't understand what
we talked
is
about
so hard
this
about it. Yeah,
early on in our podcast.
Like, get
Slimer
it right.
consultant. It's a position that we all want to take at Ghost Corps.
Yeah, hire us to be the Slimer consultants.
Yeah.
Although I never I don't have that kind of eye. Like when I see Slimer, I'm like, cool, it's Slimer, and Jake's always like,
really?
Jake looks at his hand. Is like, is it?
I can tell. Like I can see a Slimer figure or a drawing and be like, okay, they used this for reference, or they used this for like. There are a lot of now you see so often. You see like. I'm pretty sure that, you know, that Ghostbusters print you just bought, Craig?
Yeah.
The one you got from Mondo, the Slimer in that. It's like they use that Slimer, you know, the big, like, life-size Slimer that we've been seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
Who put that out?
The NECA
they use
one?
that for reference. Yeah, they use that for reference. And
Did you
that doesn't look like Slimer.
Did you see the Stay Puft bust that Diamond Select's putting out?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It looks pretty good, yeah.
I thought it was big. It says it's 10 inches. That seems small for the price, but I guess I just have to see it in person to figure out what the deal is with that.
Right.
I think also my most wanted thing, you know, like Jake said, Hasbro does have Black Series helmets, and they've done obviously like the Marvel Legends, Captain America shield, the Iron Man helmet, all the Star Wars helmets, lightsabers. I want PKE meter and other props, Ghost Trap, and I'm telling you, we've had the Matty Collector stuff before, and I'm sure Hasbro would do an even better job. If and when that happens, I'm buying 5 of all of them, because as soon as they stop making it, that stuff, more than anything, you couldn't give away PKE meters 7-8 years ago. They were for $40 on Matty Collector. You could buy a PKE meter all day. The second they were not available, it was like, oh, did you hear PK meters are going for $150? Now they're $200. They're $700. That's crazy. So people, they don't
Get them
buy
while
them.
you can.
So I'm going to buy a bunch of them. And I'm just excited. I'm so excited that Hasbro has the license, and I'm a big fan of what Hasbro does. You know, Hasbro to me for mass market action figures is hands down the best toy company, and then NECA for specialty adult collector lines. They're also the best toy company. So very, very excited for Toy Fair 2020. We're going to be doing a lot of podcasting, a lot of video content, and we're going to bring as much coverage as possible to all of our social media channels. Before we go, I did want to give Jake a chance to talk about something that he got to do. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but you'll be able to do this, I promise you. We'd never talked about this on the podcast, but unfortunately, Tim Lawrence, who was the special effects coordinator on so many movies, did incredible work on movies like Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Shrek, what else?
Jaws, Beetlejuice.
Thank you.
Tons of movies. Howard the Duck. I was just a Beetlejuice twice.
Beetlejuice. Don't say it.
He worked on a lot of stuff, but yeah, unfortunately he passed away recently, and it just so happens that a friend of mine was his nephew, and there was like a celebration of his life thrown at his house over the weekend, and I was invited. We went, hung out, you know, with family. They told stories all day. There were a lot of old coworkers of his that worked on. It was really cool to just get to, like, they had a lot of his props displayed throughout his house, things that he'd worked on, you know, props from, he worked on Thriller. There were props from that there, just stuff. He had a workshop. We got to check his workshop out, and it just had stuff all over the place. And we hung out all day and hung out with a couple of people that worked on movies with him. I can't remember all their names. There were multiple people, you know, there. And you know, I listened to one guy tell a story about them working on American Werewolf in London together. And it was it was just a cool thing to be able to be there and to listen to people tell stories about all these movies that we grew up watching and loving, and, you know, seeing some of his like Ghostbusters stuff hanging out and Howard the Duck, just everything. It was cool to be there, and he was a cool dude. You know, he was a cool dude, and it was really cool of the family to like have that and invite
in that
me.
style. It sounds really cool to be celebrating somebody's life and sharing stories in that
for
way.
sure.
When, you know, when somebody lives a
The way to
life
do
like
it.
that and touches so many, you know, major pop culture properties, and obviously for Ghostbusters and like Ghostbusters 2 being one of the Scoleri brothers, just an incredible body of work, and gone, you know, much too soon. And I was really happy, Jake, that you got to attend, and from all accounts, it seemed like a really cool and positive experience.
It was, for sure,
His
yeah.
collection, they had everything out.
Yeah.
Jake got a bunch of pictures. We actually were able to post some of them on Instagram and Twitter, so check those out. There's these two posters I wanted to talk about real quick for Ghostbusters 2. They're these for your consideration advertisements, right? So when during award season, what happens is the studios campaign for their movies to get nominated, and they send out press kits and all this stuff. And you know, one of them has the guys with the Statue of Liberty, and one of them is more just a traditional Ghostbusters 2 poster. But I didn't even notice this at first, but one of the things that they campaigned for was to get Peter McNichol nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And I didn't even notice that, and somebody pointed it out, and I was just like, you know what?
He deserves
He
it.
deserves it.
God damn it.
I want to retroactively get Peter McNichol an Oscar. It wouldn't be the first Oscar he got from Ghostbusters 2. God. Can we just... This is the greatest thing I've ever said.
This is the greatest. We should, if we ever get him on, though, be able to give him one. Like a nomination, or just like recreate our own. Give him a yes havesy.
A yes havesy?
Yes, Habsy.
Yeah,
I
the
like
yes
that.
havesy
I like
for
that.
supporting. Yeah.
Yeah. For supporting Dana through that tough
Supporting
time.
Dana.
For not supporting Dana.
When the lights went out and he
Yeah.
wanted to check on her and make sure everything was okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, about that woo.
I'm just going to do it.
Just do what I do?
But you see, I was doing it from my recollection
There you go.
of the movie.
But yeah, Jake, thank you so much for sharing that, because it was we had some people asking about it, and
Yeah.
no, it was just it's cool. I like, you know, unfortunately when somebody passes away, you know, sometimes you die and you've got your body of work, and that's what your life was, and maybe people don't know the proper way to acknowledge it or the proper way to celebrate it, but it sounds like his family was on top of that and did it in the right way.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't, you know, when I got there, my first reaction was I was seeing all this stuff, and I was like, whoa. I was like, is it weird if I take a picture of this? Is it rude? Like, should people, like, I want to show this to people. And then I talked to the family, and they were like, no, do it. They were like, we want people
It's
to
a
see
natural,
this,
healthy
take
extension.
pictures, share it. We want people to know that it's
No.
here.
To leave a legacy like
Yeah.
that's
there was nothing
impacting
wong
people.
with taking those
that's very
pictures.
Cool.
It
it
was a
very
little
cool.
weird when you
There was
started
also-
unloading your car with all this
What?
stuff. It was a little weird
When you're like,
you
can I take this?
when you took everything from the house, but it was, you know.
There was even like they had a TV set up, and it had kind of like, you know, it was almost like just like a slideshow of some of his work and stuff like that. But at one point, just kind of walking through the house, and I hear somebody yell, "We're putting the Ghostbusters video on," and I'm like, "What? What is this?" So I walk into the room, and they started playing some Ghostbusters footage of some interviews that Tim had filmed back when he was working on Ghostbusters 2, and it was stuff I'd never seen before, and the family had said some of it was personal stuff, some of it was stuff that you know, were clips from things, but it was all, I was like, I've never seen any of this, you know, and it was just some footage of him talking about the Scoleri brothers and stuff like that. There was a little bit of fan fest footage in there too, but
yeah, he was at
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Fan Fest in June, which might have been like his last, you know, I don't think he did a lot of conventions and stuff, but that was probably one of his last appearances. You know, it sucks. It sucks when you lose people, but it's good to be able to acknowledge them and celebrate.
Yeah, it's cool when friends and family can celebrate those
Yeah.
the legacy left.
I want, if and when I pass away, I want you guys to have a celebration of my life, but just make stuff up. just tell people I did stuff that
We're gonna play this episode and play your impressions.
like, ooh, here comes the big impression. By the way, last thing, I forgot to mention this earlier. Where is it? Guys, I'm going to be having some fun tonight. Okay?
Oh, some fun in the bedroom.
So I'm going to have some fun in the bedroom tonight where my VCR is, because in the mail, sealed, Rocky 1 through 5 on VHS.
Yeah.
But you're going to open that?
It was $12 and they had 40 of them on the eBay
And
store.
we need new VHS tapes in our room on our shelf. We've watched the same ones over and over again, so we're ready.
I don't want to brag. There's a free collector's booklet inside, features rare photos and the inside story of Rocky.
Oh my God.
I thought, we're going to put out this VHS set. I thought maybe you get the inside story,
I just want to go for it. Go for it. I don't really remember how that song
Abby's
goes.
so mad that I'm holding
I'm like
this.
trying to get it out of your goddamn hand. I love this. Yes. God, I love Rocky.
You're like the Nintendo 64 kid.
Yes.
All right.
I love it.
Well, listen, covered a lot of ground, had a little bit of fun today. Jake, thanks for sharing your Tim Lawrence memorial memories.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else before we sign off? Any final thoughts, final words?
Glad we're all here. Glad we're all alive and got to do this episode.
I'm glad too.
Yeah.
That would have been a real bummer to die.
Yeah.
Right before this damn Ghostbusters 3 finally. I literally had this thought the other day. I was like, you know what?
Gotta make it to July
please
10th.
get me to
You still got time.
Yeah.
You're going to be on multiple planes before then.
Let's cancel all of our
elevators,
trips.
Top floors.
Hot mic.
Sorry, hot mic, guys.
For 3 years, I'm telling you, talking to the mic, and I
Well, then
scream
you
into
told me to push it forward.
it. I said, pay it forward.
You said push it.
I said, buy somebody a Starbucks.
Sorry, guys.
Pay it forward.
It's ASMR.
Don't do that.
Dude, how was your day? Was it difficult? I can't do it. I'm just gonna hurt somebody's ears.
So yeah, we got Toy Fair coming up.
Okay.
We've got some fun stuff that we're going to be working on.
San Diego
And
Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con coming up in well, that's not till August, but between Toy Fair and Comic-Con, there's
July.
a new Ghostbusters movie we're going to be talking about, and stay right here with Yes Have Some Podcast for all of your latest news on Ghostbusters Afterlife, all the latest developments on Jurassic World, Star Wars, toys, toy collecting, and things
All the
of that
news,
nature.
none of the leaks.
No leaks. We're no spoilers here. I don't want to be spoiled.
Me either.
I don't want it. Cool. For Abigail Gardner,
Yeah. Hey guys.
Jacob Walsh,
Yep.
this was good.
Yeah.
I feel good about this.
I feel very good about what we did
It
here.
was a good one.
Yeah,
Good
this is
episode.
one of the good ones, folks.
One of the
Enjoy
good
it.
ones. It's on video.
Doesn't happen that often.
We're like one out of every 6.
Especially on video, there's usually some shit that,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
a cat
nothing
or an
crazy.
airplane or the heat going on.
Yeah.
None of that happened.
Pretty straightforward. All right. Well, we
So
better
let's
stop
thank
while we're
Skype.
I will never
Say-
thank Skype. Even though I think they forced their logo onto this video feed somehow. So I got to get around that. I think I got to upgrade
Watermark?
to premium or something. All right. For Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg. We'll see you next week on Yes Have Some Podcast. Bye.
Later.
Bye, guys.